Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to another episode of Downtime in the Hangar, where we talk about all things GBO2 and tangent a lot, sometimes, sort of. And today we got a special guest, Bradderfield. Welcome.
Hello, how you doing today?
So, Bradderfield, do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself? Let everybody know what you do and what you got going on.
Sure, thank you very much. I'm a variety streamer that got roped into Gundam Battle Operations 2 a year ago, and I got hooked on it because I love the core gameplay mechanics. Most of the time, I'm doing like Nintendo variety, all kinds of different casual speed runs that I've been learning. But this is the game that I play off in my off time. I love the combat. I love the different mechanics that this game offers as a mech fighting or a team third-person shooter. And ever since it's built my knowledge of mobile suits, and I've finally had a chance to watch some shows and really understand where these different mobile suits come from, and just refined my love for Gundam. And I finally got to see where uh, a lot of especially video game mobile suits that are in here, where they're from, and anime mobile suits where their first appearances are.
For real, though. Like, there's so many suits that I'm just like, what? What is this thing? Literally, this suit that we got this week. I'm like, okay, cool. Not surprised that there's a 2, but sure.
Yeah, all these like Anaheim Lab Diary or even Double Zeta MSVs or whatever. I really haven't seen much of it all, for sure. Outside of like G generations or something
Digging
along
through
those
the wiki
lines.
one day.
Yeah.
Also, some of the speed runs you've done. One thing I think I saw was the Pokemon. What else have you done with speed running?
Oh goodness, that was Pokemon Leaf Green. I've also started to learn Metal Gear Solid 1 and 2. If you've heard of The Messenger, a 2018 action platformer published by Devolver Digital, that one's a lot of fun. And I have a variety. One of my favorite games of all time, Mega Man X4. That one I started learning. And yeah, just there's a couple of indie ones as well. There's something that sounds really uh, strange, but it's a ton of fun. I'm about to start learning something called Epic Dumpster Bear 2. I'm contending for Mega Man DOS, a really terrible DOS game of Mega Man made by one guy
Nice.
who left Capcom. Have you heard of that?
Let's
Yeah.
go.
No.
5th place for world record, and
Nice.
Ring Fit Adventure on the Nintendo Switch. I'm competitive in that, trying to get up there in the ranks.
I
I heard
don't
that
know.
one's brutal.
Yeah. I don't know where I sit right now, but because it was a very slow run. But I did Final Fantasy VII Remake, and in the category, I was 4th place. So I don't know where I'm at now, but yeah, I was there at one point.
Ooh, I need to find your name.
So it was like 10 hours or something, and like there was so many bad things that happened. But like I think the fastest one was like 6 hours, so I was just like, oh no.
Oh yeah, if you're interested in speedrunning Final Fantasy VII Remake, there's some skips you might want to learn where you can just skip some chapters.
Oh yeah, I'm trying to do the what was it? 100% no exploit or whatever it's called.
Okay, no
No
glitches and
glitches. There we
stuff.
go. Yeah.
Man,
Yeah,
especially
I
since now
suppose
it's coming
that's
from PS
still
Plus.
valid. They honor the hundo.
So like I like going the no glitch route when I'm doing anything, unless it's one of those things that's completely absurd. You know, like 20 hours or 40 hours or something. You know, if I gotta pull an all nighter, then probably not gonna happen. That was my first attempt though. Like it was running on like 12, 14 hours, and I'm like, okay, I need to do some practice. We'll be back. I kind of went in kind of sort of blind, so very little
Oh,
practice on
absolutely.
but
Learning Metal Gear Solid. I mean, learning any speed run. Follow a guide. Try to learn the tricks. Pokemon was an 11-hour stream or 9-hour stream, the first time I did it. Then I my personal best is just over 4 hours 6 minutes. You
Nice.
whittle it
Ooh,
down, and
nice.
you chase that personal best, and you get hooked.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, like one of the things that I do a lot of, which is essentially speed running, is it's races in Path of Exile. I love trying to
Ooh.
get as fast as I can, leveling up and get through the story quickly and stuff like that. And and then you're competing against everybody else at the same time. So I mean, it's essentially just speed running. Only everybody has to do it right then and there at the same time. But yeah. So anyway, and then we're joined by the usual suspects: Gustav the 13th
Yep.
and Gaming Emblem.
Well, it's always good to be here.
So guys, how was your past week?
Been okay so far, dealing with Like a Dragon as our new secondary game. Also delving deeper into Valheim, which is may or may not have completely messed up my sleep schedule, but it's been fun so far. Also, our delve yesterday, I pretty much shuffled my entire schedule around. But besides that, been having some slight internet issues. Took some time to actually just take care of some stuff around the house today, as well as catching up on my VODs for my YouTube as well. So we're currently on Yakuza 4 there. Yakuza 5 will eventually be cycling through there as well.
Ooh.
What about you guys?
As far as my stuff goes, I play still being a slave to battle op. I'm back in S minus, which feels good, man. Ready for clan matches. Um, I'm trying. I want to get to. There's a long goal. There's a goal that's long and far away. But we had a little bit of a joke during one of the streams earlier this week where we were talking about Uma Musume Pretty Derby or whatever. And how I guess the horse girls race so that they can become idols or something. I don't know. Anime. But we've now decided that when you hit the rating cap on S minus, you become a battle operation idol. So I'm trying to become the battle op idol and hit max rank S minus. I probably have a long way to go. But working on that. I too, I need to find time. I just keep playing too much battle op, and on some of the other days, these guys want to play Valheim or something. Uh, so I'll have to play. I'll have to play and finish Yakuza Like a Dragon as well. Like I'm literally on the last chapter, and I actually ran through the. I don't know if there's more optional dungeons, but when you get to the last chapter, they unlock a dungeon, and I don't know. The fighting seems to be a lot easier outside of a couple of cameo fights. All the fights in the late game to me so far seem pretty cakewalky. And I kind of just steamrolled the entire dungeon. So we'll see what happens with some of that. But yeah, gonna do that eventually because I need to finish. I really need to finish them up. Like I was planning on playing Super Robot Wars, OG2 when I finished that up, but I've been made aware of a few other games, and I want to play the new Persona 5 games, and there's just so much stuff like Dragon Quest 11, the definitive whatever version is on sale. Just games, and I want to play me some RPGs. So they'll probably be doing some of that at some point or whatever eventually, probably. But yeah, games I want to play them. Work is going, keeping the house clean. I haven't died in my murder laundry basement yet, so that's a
Nice.
win. We're still coping with the train.
And then
Yeah, good week.
yeah, I've got some adulting to do as well at the house. Oops. But yeah. But as far as my week, it was pretty much. I mean, we all did the Valheim boss, so that was cool. And so we had 7 people on that, so that was interesting. Having the server, the swamp just didn't exist while we were running to the boss, and then it just suddenly popped into existence. And luckily, we could exploit that because then everybody trying to make it back, everybody was just dying. Luckily, we finally got a portal up. And then
Campfire's OP.
that bug where Juko became the infinite tank was pretty cool. And we whittled it down and fought the raid boss for 30 minutes. But yeah, that was pretty hype. I'm hoping to get to the point of getting the next boss up by next week. So I'll post something in the Discord for doing that. But that's a lot of silver. So I don't know if we have enough silver, and then we got to find where the next boss spawns at. So that could be hard. But yeah, other than that, GBO2 stuff and things, and got done with went through ODST on Halo with Aoshi. That was a lot of fun. I literally only played through it like once and then started on it, so it's been years. So I forgot a lot of what even happens with it, but that was a lot of fun. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Tabletop stuff and things happen with the Gundam campaign, and that's continuing. I had a crazy idea, and I don't know if it was fun or not, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, that was pretty much my week. So if we want to go ahead and get into the stuff, though, we got the Rick Diaz 2.
Ricardo
Diaz. So who has played against it or played some of it, and what do you guys think?
I got to control the suit. I will say, when we had our first match, Corraz let me borrow his Ricardo Diaz, and I let him use my game lock. First thing I want to say is, like, the suit felt nice to play. Just like by default, the turn speed, it just feels like a very smooth ride. That was the big thing, and that was on the ground where it's not even at its specialty. It has space specialization by default. And I kind of just tried the weapons out, so I didn't get to do any like match type stuff with it. But I mean, just the Vulcans seem nice. They felt it looks like each like press of the gun or whatever fires off 2 blasts, so you're putting out a lot of pressure with that when you hold it down as well. Um, the melees hit hard. Like, that was one of the big things I noticed. I think when I was hitting the game lock with my melee options, and I'd have to look again, but I want to say, like, I was doing in a neighborhood of like 4K with like neutrals on the first hit. So
Damn.
it was it seems like it hits hard, and it's got a good kit to be able to push out some damage as well, and fight people and murder everything, and it's crazy. Seems good.
I haven't rolled it. I haven't fought against it, so yeah, I'll just go off of what you guys tell me.
Yeah,
I've only fought it so far in the customs that we did the other day. It seems really good, and just from the list and us talking about it yesterday, and seeing some other people play when I was doing some raids and stuff, like, it's gonna stick around. It's definitely got some potential, I think.
So far, I've described it as like the C1 of raids, just because of how that beam rifle works. So, as far as its weapons go, pretty much it's got the beam rifle that has a 2.5 second charge, and when you full charges, you heavy stagger. So it's the C1 in that regard, and it penetrates. So you can stagger multiple people to a knee, which is kind of gross for a raid.
Whoa. Yeah.
Yeah, so you can definitely play defensive and peel away from yourself if a general gets on you. So that's one of the big benefits for it. But then apparently his Vulcans have a crazy stagger ratio, and they're like either GPO2 or better.
Ooh.
Better.
Yeah.
If you want, I can give you the comparison as well.
Yeah, go ahead.
So the Rick DS2 has there it is. So the Rick DS2 has 5%. Yeah, there it is. It's 5% per bullet. And the fire interval is 600 shots a minute, so it's just as fast as the MLRS according to the numbers. The MLRS has a 6% stagger value, so you
So
should
it's
still
20.
be staggering faster the MLRS. Um,
Someone was saying
according
15
to
yesterday, but yeah, that's 20. Still,
yeah, so it
five
should be
bullets.
20.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, that's
So
still
yeah,
pretty insane.
17 on the Malurs and 20 on the raid. Like, it's not bad at all. You're pretty much gonna rush down most of the supports, and probably by the time you're on top of them, if not even a little bit sooner, they're probably gonna stagger out. Like the Faz is already in a bad spot. It doesn't stand a chance with this thing floating around anymore. At
I like the
This would be
Faz though.
rough.
It was good before. I won games, Emblem.
I did it. I made it happen. Now it was
Magnum,
more
if you
fun when
want.
there was a bunch of Toads Raiders running around that didn't know what they were doing, and then after that, kind of fell
Bully.
apart.
Pretty much.
Just let me know whenever, Magnum, because I can go over all the other stats and stuff like that too.
Yeah, we can go ahead and go over the stats because I mean, again, none of us have it, so we don't have as much to show off this time. And I mean, again, playing against it, it just I played as a general against it, and I was just like, okay, I'm a general, I bully raids, so cool. Also, it definitely helped being in the Regelgu that I got, so I was just able to, combo stagger 3 times, which is kind of gross.
Sure.
So as soon as I broke that maneuver armor, then it was just like boom, 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 and if they dodge rolled, then cool. But other than that, and then as a support, it felt, raid gets on me. They do a lot of damage. And I'll bring that up later though after we talk about the stats and stuff, because I'm gonna go after the Cubalate Mark II discussion. I can't help it, especially after game I just had. But anyway, yeah, let's go through the stats and we'll talk about it.
Sure. So it's a two level suit. Base cost is 600. Level 2 is 650. HP for the suit starts, and this all the stats will be respective to the 600 cost one first, and then 650. Just for those of you at home watching. So we got 2100 HP, and then 2300. Or, sorry, 21,000 HP, and then 23,000 HP. The ammo defense, or live ammo defense, is 10 and 11. Beam resist is 32 and 35. Melee resistance is 32 and 34. Definitely one of the stronger points for the suit, I think.
Yeah.
The range damage modifier is 20 and 22. Melee combat or melee modifier is 40 and 43. Movement speed is 45. Boosted movement is 220. It defaults with 70 thrust. On ground, it has a turn speed of 72. 78 in space. As melee priority 3, it has a little standard knee counter thing. This is a 2-star suit. Slot wise, top slots are 18 and 20 for levels 1 to 2. Mid slots are 17 for both. And bottom slots are 9 and 10.
Right.
As far as the melee damage fall off, so for those of you that play that may not be aware, when your suit has combo controller, your first swing does 100% of your melee damage. And normally it's 100, 50, and if you have more than 2 swings, 25. This one is 100% damage, 70% damage, and then kind of a weird number, 49% damage. I wonder if they mean 50. It could be a weird translation thing or something, but it says 49 for me. And interestingly enough, none of the weapon swings have an adjusted modifier. So neutrals are still 100% melee damage, side swings are 75, and down swings are 130 percent bonus damage. Movement's the same. So, in regards to the primary weapon, the double mega beam gun prototype, Federation naming standards. It has a base power of 1200, 13 at level 2. On charge shots stagger, but you do use 75% heat rate, and you can charge in. So I heard a 2.5 second time floating around, but this has 3.5 on here. So I
I
might
mean,
have
the
to check
screenshot
and.
for the suit actually has 2.5 on the actual thing.
Yeah, so I kind of Yeah, that's interesting. 'Cause that's what I thought I saw that too. So that's kind of interesting. I wonder if that's just a discrepancy on the wiki, which is a tad bit concerning. Well, the screenshot I have of the barrel gun says the focus time is 3.52. Where did
Oh
you see the
wait,
screenshot at Magnum?
hang on a sec. Let me. Maybe I'm being crazy. Then it
I
is
mean,
the
I thought
same.
it said 2.5 too, so I probably just misread it. But while you're looking, I'll just keep going. So it's saying it's 3.5% charge
Oh,
time.
yeah, it is.
Or good.
Okay.
Oh, you
Two
got
two
two.
point
Okay.
five 2.5 cooldown. Oops. So it is
Okay.
the same as the C1 in that case.
Sure. Okay. It fires 2 beams, and they each have their own hitbox and deal the 1,200 damage. You can move while shooting, and you get the knee stagger when you do the focused shot or the full charge shot. It does switch your heat rate consumption from 75 to 100%. It pierces, and let's see, you get a 1.6% or multiplier of 1.6 to your damage. Um, Looks like on here it's saying it's 2,000 of a full charge per beam, so it's pretty substantial. And the stagger value is 5% for each beam. And cooldown overheat. The cooldown is 15 seconds, which isn't too terribly bad. That gun
So
seems pretty good.
real quick on the main weapon, I would say that is the only thing to use on it. I know it has the clay bazooka and the shrapnel, but even though I like to meme with the shrapnel, I don't think I would ever swap that double beam mega prototype or whatever it is.
This proto is just too vicious.
Yeah, it seems pretty versatile. I definitely don't hate it myself. Like I already have in my mind, I already have combos that I would probably do against supports and stuff like that to push out damage. But it definitely seems like the best of the 3 options.
Yep, a piercing heavy stagger on the charge too. It does deplete it all the way, but even so.
Yeah, and I think it's like fine because is that how the C1 works? I don't play it and I can't remember.
Same
Yeah, and it doesn't have too much trouble, so that's probably fine. On top of everything else, and the damage looks pretty good too. Like this thing seems like it slaps around everybody. I won't go too much into it, but like Magnum said, the clay bazooka and the shrapnel clay bazooka are the other weapons. So if you've got those already, you can use it as well. The beam saber it has is its own specialty beam saber. So it's beam saber for Ricardo DS2. Base power is 2600. Level 2 gets 2730. It has a 0.77 second ready up time when you switch to it. That's the fast swap time that a lot of the melee boys get. We talked about the Vulcans, but power per shot is 115, 120 at level 2. The clip is 60 bullets, 600 shots a minute, reloads in 13 seconds, and has a range of 180. You can use it while moving and boosting. And like we said, it's 5% stagger rate, so you stun in 20 hits against non-damage control suits. And it also has Birdlime. Birdlime launcher is 300 power, 315 at level 2. One shot, you hit him with the goop. Range is 200. And just like any other bird lime, you can use it while jumping, moving, or not boosting, jumping, moving. You can't scope with it. And it also has the debuff effect where the suit is slowed, can't transform, and all that other nice stuff during the effect.
Yeah, I didn't know about that transform thing till it hit me, and I was just like, "What? Oh my gosh! Is it the goop?"
Oh, and I guess while we're talking about the effects, you can't use bird lime underwater. So that would be affect this suit too. Skill wise, it has leg shock absorber level 3, emergency evasion program level 1. That's dodge roll. Balancer, you have force injection 2, my favorite skill. Aerial control program level 3. That's the one that lets you do actions in midair. So you can do like additional jumps and boost into air, and your aerial actions take 50% less thrust. You have gliding mechanism level 3, which reduces your fall speed, high performance and back. You also have the Ricardo Diaz's signature skill, the instant injection precision control. According to this, that's the one that reduces your thruster consumption by 20%. So it's 80% thrust gauge to tackle instead of 100. So you can tackle twice. Melee combat controller level 2, so you get 3 melees. You have maneuver armor 2. Explosion react, or not explosion reactive, but you have anti blast stabilizer and back binder level 2, so you take less damage and get shot in the binders.
Having a lot of those at level 2 is pretty good. Like the force ejector and maneuver armor. Pretty nice.
And that's all the boring breakdowns of the new suit for everybody.
Okay, so what's everybody thinking right now about this thing?
I think
Sounds
it's pretty good.
powerful. Yeah,
Seems
powerful.
vicious. Didn't see it in my space stuff just now at 650, so I'm kind of wondering if this is going to be something where it stays at the lower bound and like 650 it might just get matched out. But we'll find out.
Emblem, you were talking about you were thinking some combos. What were you thinking about right now?
So I look at this and I kind of think of the Desert Gelgoog, and in that regard, my usual setup with the Desert Goog is lead with Sturmfaust, follow up with the arm cannon to do a heavy stagger, and it might not be as possible to 3.5 second charge time to play with it, but you do so stun, heavy stagger, and usually I do like a beam rifle shot into a melee downswing or something to just get them on their back, and then disengage or back melee animation cancel, shoot them again, and then do another downswing. In this case, I guess it would after the heavy stagger, I would probably just like do a neutral into a downswing, and then at that point, yeah, neutral downswing, and then as I back off of a downswing, you just hit him with some Vulcans while you're in back movement, and then switch back to your melee and just downswing him again. And with the damage output, you probably kill like every support in the game with that kind of setup, assuming it works. If it doesn't, you just take the safer route and drop the heavy stagger, and just do the same thing, but you just don't have a heavy stagger, and you just if you can get the timing right, you can do neutral in the downswing and the hit up, but if not, you just downswing them and probably just add an extra swing to your combo while they're on the ground. It's like neutral downswing, and you probably get like similar results. But if you can get to knee stagger, they're probably guaranteed dead. Whereas with the other one without the knee stagger, it might be up in the air. You probably still kill Fazes because they're made out of paper, but
Oh, man,
it could be a little bit
papers.
questionable. Some of the other suits.
So much for full armor.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
the
Faz is in
heavy
a weird
stagger
place.
have the you could do a 2-swing knockdown, and based on those skills, seems like it has less of a penalty for the 2-swing, especially if your second swing is the knockdown swing.
Mhm.
Those modifiers, and if you have enough time to get the second round of the 1-2 neutral downswing while they're on the floor, that is a ton of damage. But it's a very small window. Most of the time, you just get a second downswing only before iframes kick in.
Yeah, as long as you're tight on your follow up, you should be able to mix in. I know in most suits, I'll do like a beam shot into like a downswing just to play it
Oh, yeah.
safe. But like if you're on like those times Magnum's talking about where it's just everything's working right, you should be you can sometimes get like a neutral into a downswing with the right suits. It just depends on how long the wind up is on the down. But
Yep.
yeah, it's definitely not bad. But my thoughts are the suit looks pretty good. It should be able to hold its own.
What I was
650 might still be hard just because raid life, but yeah, seems
Right.
good.
what I was thinking kind of with it too is you could approach with the Vulcans. I mean, I love machine guns, Vulcans, so I'm in there with that. So, like, just since it's got all that thruster output going in, with the Vulcans, stagger them on the way, and then once you kind of get used to the count, or either count it, look at it, kind of feel it out, whatever you have to do to get used to it. Then, as soon as they're about to be staggered, stop your boost, swap to the beam gun, shoot them. It does have the 2.5 second. No, that's the cooldown time. So, what's the ready up time on the beam gun? As long as it's fast enough, then you can combo from that stagger to that. Then you can melee twice, dash, bird lime, then knock down if you need to.
It's
anyway.
0.77, so it readies up pretty quick.
Okay, yeah. So then you could
Okay.
Vulcans into just a normal stagger with the beam, and then you could do the melee. And if you could just kill them in 2 hits and then follow up, then you're fine. Or if you need to do melee, dash, bird lime, melee, and then that's when you knock them down on that second one after the bird lime. Then the reason why I was thinking of doing that is since you can have the heavy stagger ready for any generals coming toward you at that point. So then you can get out with it. So then you can take it, hopefully they're dead, and then you can take a defensive stance by charging up the heavy stagger, and either at that point moving in and helping your team with the other generals and whatnot, or the raid, or just pulling back and getting out. That's kind of what I was thinking with it. Kind of saving that for a defensive thing rather than offense.
Yeah, loading up the heavy stagger for a getaway is not a bad idea, especially if it pierces and the enemy team is, all zoning in on you. And if you hit them all in a line and put them all on their knee, you could just laugh. I don't care if this thing's overheated. You're on the floor. You just get away and let things recharge for the wait for the support to respawn and try again. Do it again.
Sounds like raid life to me. Just murder support, try to get out, rinse and repeat.
Yeah, having these ranged options is pretty nice. I try to go for. There's not too many mid-range or long-range supports. I mean, raid types, other than the assault armor or G-line assault, Zuda with the anti-ship rifle, or the Zaku flipper. This is a high-cost range. Maybe Desert Gelgug's in that same kind of category of having mid-range options instead of being melee focused, but having a lot of power in both ranged and melee is makes things interesting. You have different approaches you can rely on.
Yeah, and I think the best high cost raids can definitely fight on both fronts, for sure. It's probably one of the reasons why the flipper isn't a terrible option at its cost, because it can push it both close and long, like you're saying. So yeah, for sure.
By the way, oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna ask one. No stealth on this, right?
Right.
I hope not.
There's no stealth.
imagine?
Not too many stealth options at 600, 650.
Not yet.
Not yet. See, so it has to fight its way in, or get a good flanking angle, and risk getting picked up on radar before you have a chance of of committing to a melee situation. Good mobility, getaway with the beam rifle. It's it fits a certain play style.
I think we'll definitely see it more, especially at 600.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. What do we have for competition with it? I've only got 4 600 raids. So I mean, Hammurabi's good. Hammurabi's definitely still up there. There's the A1 steak sauce, which is pretty cool. Then we have the Pixie, which, well, honestly, I feel like the Pixie is better at higher cost than it is at lower cost.
Fucking
because-
Rezian just brought up you could always use a level 5 pixie, so that's good timing on that.
Wow. Night Seeker V, anybody?
Oh, there we go. That's
Yeah.
one I don't have.
There's your
Geplant-
550 stealth. 500 stealth?
Wait, is it 500
It should be
or
500, 550.
Okay.
If I remember right. I don't know. I guess for me, high cost is 600, 650, but I can see that too. Maybe because I don't go in low cost. The mid range for me feels like the 450 to 550 point range now. But I think saying that's high cost is not a bad it's not a bad comparison or whatever.
Oh, Bawu. There we go. That's one I don't have.
Bawu's really good. I was gonna bring that one up in a second too. Bawu's really strong. It's probably like your main competition.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah.
How do we feel on the Mark V in that case?
Do anyone has it? Anyone got it?
I have the Mark V. I'm just trying to think about it because that's a good question.
Of Incom?
It does, yeah. It's Incom shoulder cannon, non-stunning shoulder cannon, instant stun beam rifle, and then your just usual beam saber smackdowns. It's probably better than the Mark V. Sorry, speed, but just because it has a bit more utility and it can kind of do some of the same stuff the Mark V wants to do. It's probably around the same amount of time. I think the it probably can hold off multiple people a little bit better than the Mark V can, just because it has multiple instant stagger options. Because you can always just like shoot bird lime, maybe Vulcan somebody or something else like that. Hopefully not in a situation where you're getting attacked on multiple fronts, unless you're just out of place or something. But yeah, it's probably better than the Mark V. I would say it's 650. Well, I guess it's the only cost you can play that, but feels good to me.
Oh, also, I've already forgot about it, but don't forget check your skills. It has a double tackle, so you can get 2 tackles off too. So that's always nice.
Yeah, it lets you whiff one and still counter somebody. If they think you're out of thrust and go for a melee, yeah, you could bait that out. And then it refills your bar.
Yeah, I feel
Some
like
people do it.
I feel like the Rick Diaz is kind of like people's forgot about it because not too many people play it. So when I actually remember to use the double tackle, I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. And then I normally catch somebody off guard just about every time. But it's one of those things that like I don't know what it is with tackle mechanics that is just not like I guess everybody's so used to just tackling once and that's it. Like getting used to the game lock and it's like super tackle has been like I'm like, oh yeah, I could have used the super tackle there and then knock the dude down. I'm an idiot. Okay, cool. Moving on. Next time, noted. And then, next time happens and I'm like, okay. And then I just repeat that several times. And then finally 3 games later, I'm like, tackle. Oh yeah, take a knee. And then yeah. But yeah, the double tackle is pretty nice on it. The other thing too, at 650, Cuberlay Mark II. Gonna go ahead and go on like just saying. I mean it was a space game, there was 2 supports. But 245,000 damage at the end of the game. Let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
that's
was
substantial.
And my thing is though I still think the Cuberlay Mark II is the good news is I think they're really close between it, the Mark V, and the Rick Diaz 2. And then there's the A1 up there as well. I can't remember what else is up. I guess the Bawu's up there too. I still see a lot of Bawu's as well at 650. I guess if you're a raid player and you play any of those suits and you're just good with it, you can fill the role. Then there you go. But I definitely think the Cuberlay Mark V and the Rick Diaz 2 are definitely. What do you think about the Bawu at 650? Because I'm not completely sold on it at 650 yet.
I don't have any.
Okay, fair enough. But
It's not as common, but I feel like it's got a good loop with the shield and the melee and then just dumping the missiles. Now that being said, 650 tends to be a little bit more fast paced, so sometimes it can get smacked out of that rhythm pretty easily, but I feel like for some people it's just muscle memory after a while.
I think I'd probably lean more towards the Mark II Cubile at that cost for raid. And then it's kind of like after that, it's probably like a toss up between like Mark V, Bawu, and this thing. Probably more in favor of Bawu's hard. I know the suit's good, but I really wish I could get my hands on it. I'd love to be able to play it a little bit more.
With the Cubile Mark II, my thing again, from what we were talking about yesterday, but yeah, Emblem said probably Mark II. Yeah, woo. Okay. Uh, but like the main thing though is the double dodge roll and the maneuverability of this thing is kind of crazy, and I end up, if I get caught between the three generals going mine, I'm like, okay, if I hit one of you and knock you down, you're going to be at half health or less. So there's still potential that I could still kill a general as a raid in one combo, which is kind of absurd. And if anybody else is there, they're dead. So like all I got to do is just catch them with that downswing, which is insanely fast. And then, there's like you hit for 5,000 damage on generals, so it's kind of gross. But like that's my thing is it's the damage potential of the Mark II Cubile is just through the roof. So that's why I still favor it. But I do like this utility beam gun, the mega double particle super whatever thing.
Super ultra rainbow particle double gun.
Double mega hyper delicious beam rifle.
Premium edition.
Yeah, it's definitely tasty.
But
I'd say roll on it though. Like for anybody that wants to try and get in that raid slot at 650 and suffer, or just have a good suit at 600, like BB Studios really likes to release push 2-star suits, so I don't think it's a bad one to try and get. It's not bad at all.
I guess any final thoughts on the Rick DS2?
Definitely give it a shot.
It's a double thumbs. Double
It's
thumbs.
good. It's good.
I like the C1. It's pretty much a C1 that's a raid and can't fly. That's pretty much it. That's how I feel. And it has Vulcans.
Yeah.
So I'm always in there for that Vulcan stagger. Let's go. Like it just feels like a higher cost beam bazooka at this point for me.
Yeah.
Oh shit, Cuss, I actually got it.
Oh, nice.
I like the Vulcans that
the
actually stun and hit hard and sound good.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
I like to see the C1 in the Ricardo DS2 because I could just tell it. See you later. Oh.
Yeah. I can't wait to see some video clips of somebody stunning 3 or more suits with the fully charged shot.
Oh yeah. Oh, speaking of that. Oh, go ahead.
Just line them up, knock them down. That's all I was going to say.
Mm-hmm.
Double Zoc. Am I right, Emblem?
I want to not have any part of this.
Yes.
Chat made me do it.
You were forced to join me.
No. Keep your sick Zoc.
Filthy Zoc.
Yes, nonsense to yourself.
Join me, Emblem, and together we can Zoc the world.
Big egg energy.
But yeah, what happened yesterday in the customs Bradderfield was straight up Emblem lined up a shot of like hit 1 or 2 dudes right off the bat, and another guy got into his beam, and then I was also sitting,
mazer, by the way.
Yeah, with the photon mazer on the Zoc, and then I was there charging right next to him, and then about the time his ended, I let mine go, and so they were there staggered, all 3 of them, down to like 400 health after that. Yeah, it was beautiful. It brings a tear to my eye. Oh man.
I thought you were going to cross the streams or something. Okay.
Oh, we did. We definitely crossed the stream.
That's pretty much what that
just
was.
Some overlapping fire, just locked them in stun for 2 whole sessions of Zoc beam. Okay.
It was gross.
That's amazing. That's astounding.
Nobody had fun that game, including maybe Magnum, but
High was
myself. It
I
felt
was
dirty that match. I had to go take a shower.
I was enjoying my support hubris.
Filthy.
Oh, and actually, before we move on to the patch notes, because also you mentioned spinning on this, I will say
Mhm.
one of the funny things is if you read the comment on it, the quote, you're, I can't read it from here.
Overconfidence will bite you in the butt.
Yeah, I was like, as soon as I saw that comment, I was like, that would be funny if this was a raid, because that just feels like Emblem saying, yeah, you and your support hubris being overconfident on your like hill up there. I'm just like, and then I like loaded up the page and saw that it was a raid, and I was like, what? Oh my gosh.
Yep. Punish support hubris.
Overconfidence intensifies.
Mhm.
But so moving into the patch notes though, we can go in and talk about the other banner, and I guess the question would be if we have no other thoughts on the Rick Diaz 2, spinning on it or spinning for the other two new suits, well, new levels of suits. The DST for the Unit 5 and 4 level 2.
Definitely a pleasant surprise with those.
Yeah. I already spun on this. I was hoping and waiting for this to happen. And I got the Gundam Unit 4 BST with the Mega Meme launcher there. I was hoping for the raid, but maybe I'll get that next time before it goes away.
I definitely prefer the 4 boosted just because the way the beam launcher works is how I wanted it to work on the original. So like
Fast
wouldn't
charge.
mind spinning for that, yeah. Fast charging, stream beam that you can move, like let's go.
DPS output's better on that version too. Like, it's nice when the gimmick weapons aren't like nerfed to the ground on release and just
Mhm.
unusable, like the Faz's cannon and stuff like that. So that's always pretty good.
I mean, it was
Hmm.
so it was usable when it first came out, but the damage was pretty
Mhm.
lackluster, and then they did that super
Right.
nerf. So it went from like doing maybe 3,000 every 30 seconds to, I mean, it was, you could do it to multiple units, but like 3 or 4,000 to like now 10 or 12, which is insane. So yeah, the Unit 4 is hype. I tried for it on a spin, didn't get it. Sadly, the Unit 5 at 550 I think is gonna fall short. I still think it's got crazy wide swings and it's a lot of fun to cause havoc in a game. Um, I don't know if I'd use it over anything else in space though. Like it's definitely up there. It's not bad, but it's not. It's definitely not like the Bawu or if you want stealth, like you
Georgia.
pointed out the Night Seeker or even the Jarja. Yeah. So
Yeah, there's other options for it, especially if you want to lean on melee more.
I still want it, so
It
if
just
you're gonna roll
feels
for a raid.
nice.
Mhm.
Sorry, go ahead.
No. Go. Just
Oh,
memeing.
I was just gonna say it just feels nice to be able to fire that weapon more than once per round.
yes,
It the recharge on the normal, the damage was really high. You might kill if enemy mobile suit was already damaged. With this, I don't need it to be a one-hit kill that charges forever because you kind of put yourself in a bad spot sitting back charging. You don't know what's happening with the rest of the team unless you see that they're all dying. And this is a real quick opportunity for a big burst of damage. And if someone gets caught in the full thing, that's a big punish. If not, you can go back to your hyper beam or bazooka stagger options. If you go full charge, I combo this with the hyper beam. It's pretty good poke damage if you're going to play kind of mid range with this suit, with the Unit 4 at least. And I would love to get my hands on the Unit 5 BST. Double sabers just looks so good.
yeah, the wide swing on it is what I like with the
that too.
double.
Yeah, it's got what is it like the prototype Gundam Pale Rider unit, Blue Destiny Unit 2 kind of downswing.
Yeah, and then
I thought it was more like the Cubile, right? Like where
I
it's
thought
like
it was
the
more like if we're talking about the Unit 5 cell, that was more Tristany.
Well, it's like if you combined
That's a good
all of
question.
those into one, whereas the Tristan, is trying to downswing and is slow and is like, oh man, I'm about to hit you. You better not move out of the way. Uh,
This is all of my power.
I mean, like
Yeah.
the
You literally
Take
have to like
this.
Dragon Ball Z power up before a downswing comes out on the Tristan, man. Yeah.
The funny thing is that everyone's turned that into a downswing machine now because of that, though.
I mean, it chunks.
It hits hard.
Yeah,
Mhm.
like I was terrified playing in the Mark II Cubile there right before this because one tried to downswing me and I was like, I'm just dead
Like,
if that thing hits me. But I kind of
Loose
just
at my shoulders.
I kind of didn't boost or anything and just moved backwards and then shot it. Then I downswung it.
that
So,
sucks.
but yeah, it's like it's got the really wide swing out. Like I'll hit people to my sides or behind me, teammates, a lot of times when I'm going in there. So like what I like to do with it is I'll go in and I'll like attack the first guy and then do like side swing and then do like a big downswing and I'll end up knocking, if I'm lucky, just jumping into a full enemy team. A lot of times I just end up dead and then it's just like oops. And then my team's like, don't get reckless or something. Or
My God.
You're the best or whatever.
yeah.
Is he an ace?
Oh yeah.
Is this one
Good
a new
job.
comes the
Is
salt.
is he a new type?
For real. Is he a new type?
Or when it works,
Yeah.
it feels like
Yeah.
the a Freet DS, and I'm knocking over everybody and just annoying people, and then I just boost away because the thing has boost for days.
And when she
Knock them all down.
email from your own team later.
Yeah, then when there's a mosh pit going on, then I knock everybody down. But
Yeah, knock them all down. Apologize later if it's your teammates. Yeah, gotta go.
exactly. Oh man. Oh, as a raid though, like every time I play raid, there's always that general that's like, I'm gonna help with that support, and I'm gonna knock down the raid, which could have killed the support, but Or like when I'm playing support
Always
and I
big
see that
sad.
general, I'm like, come on, bro, come on, hit me. You need to hit me now. He doesn't. That's the
Stop trying to
raid.
hit me and hit me.
And then the general's coming like, I'm helping, and I'm like, yes, you are. You're helping me survive to get one more shot off because that
Nice
raid
bounce,
can kill me.
buddy.
Oh my gosh, I love that. Well, I hate it too. I love it when I'm the support. I hate it when I'm the raid.
Stop helping me.
Stop.
Becky Chan had it
Yep.
right, man.
He did have it right.
Okay, so would we recommend? Okay, I guess would you guys recommend spinning on the banner, or what would be your recommendations between the two that are up right now, and also even the super one that's still up because that got extended as well. Or wait, did that get it? No, that one's still ending
I
on
thought
the
it-
10th.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that one I think.
I mean, if you're in it for the raid life, then just go for the main banner right now. On the
Yeah, ignore
boosted,
the fact that they're both different costs, right?
if you're already like a fan, yeah, I mean, fuck it, because
Mhm.
not gonna be that much of a gap unless you're really getting into specifics. But like, if you're thinking about it that much, you're probably already spending on it. And then, I think the super banner is really good. Like for me, it's not a big deal just because I've gotten so many of those suits. But like, that's a good range of stuff to mess with. Like if you're kind of so on the main banner this week and you just want to take another crack at it, I'd say take advantage while it's still there.
Guarantees are always nice.
I'd say the two losses on that super banner would be like the double Zeta and the Hama Hama. Really, is if you want to go. I mean, but they're not really even that bad now. They're still
Poor
solid,
Hama Hama.
but they're yeah. I mean, the health buff was nice. Kind of insane at 650, but yeah. Which banner have you been? I mean, well, I know you said you've been spinning on the unit 4 and 5, but have you tried the super banner at all, Bradderfield?
Let's see, which one is the super? Is it the multi-step one?
Yeah, it's the
Or-
3 steps where you get a guaranteed 11th suit of those 10.
I usually go for the free pulls, the discount pulls, and if I have 30 tokens that I've earned, I I go for like my banner of choice. I've tried to go for a few banners before with those tokens, and like I missed the XS, I missed the Gundam Unit 5, any of the I kind of ignore the Cubulate actually. I kind of like to thrive 550 and below. When these Unit 4, Unit 5 boosted came out, I was just, okay, another suit to go for that I could probably use and probably have fun with. And yeah, if I went for another banner this week, I don't think like as interesting as the Rick DS2 looks. I think I'll still probably try to go for these boosted units.
Actually,
That's fair.
That's a question. You said you normally do you well, what do you think of 650 and like 600? Because you said what, 550 and below you normally play? Is that what you just
Yeah,
said?
think just a couple matches against suits with funnels. I still don't feel comfortable like with those kinds of weapons in this game's engine with the kind of like limited mobility that suits have. It's a little bit I think before when Cubulate first came out, like now there's suits that kind of counter it with skills that make it the lock-ons take longer, and suits that can maybe outmaneuver Cubulate or at least outrange it a little bit more. Um, I still don't think with like console latency and other like in-game mechanics, you can't feasibly dodge these weapons or reliably dodge roll these kinds of like in-com or funnel type weapons just in this game's engine. In like Gundam Versus with way more anime style like dashing and maneuverability, funnels don't really phase a lot of people. That's just like chip damage, the kind of damage you can like almost ignore until it stacks up, that kind of stuff. But in this game, it's like the core a damage output of like Cubulate and the surround and the side. They use different cooldowns, but it's the same. It's the same funnels doing the damage. So it seems like you have the same deal with the GP02 MLRS. It has 6 tubes, but you can fire 12 rockets. It recycles the cooldowns, and it's a little busted. I just think with the the code in this game doesn't really cater to funnels. It's a little copy paste, and the mechanics just I don't vibe with them. So 550 and below for me.
I'm a big GPO2 fan, so I'm just like, no, don't tell him. No,
Don't
no,
tell
it's
them.
completely busted. It is completely busted. Like, and the funny thing is, like you said, though, it's got 6 tubes. It's just like it just reminds me a little bit of have you watched the original Gundam?
Yeah, I watched. So far, I've seen Mobile Suit Gundam, 0083, War in the Pocket, Zeta movies, and 8th MS Team.
Yeah, 8th MS Team, let's go.
Nice.
I'd recommend
I'm still
Thunderbolt as
working
well.
on Thunderbolt. Oh, I forgot to mention. I watched Thunderbolt.
Yeah, there we go.
So that's my space raid, Thunderbolt. Still, yeah, 500, 550, and below.
Yeah, so the missile thing though, I think is kind of funny because like in the original, they have like a bazooka and it's going like pew 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 pew.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's very Mobile Suit Gundam, gun cannon, or yeah, the just firing lots of shells out of the same cannon. I don't
Machine
know.
gunning them.
Your
Yeah.
auto reloaders. I can't tell if those are energy weapons or ammo based. It's fine. I realized right away, like the firing rate on the Gundam's Gundam beam rifle is just very spammy. I know at higher cost you could do that with the Zero Shiki, and that seems to make more sense. At the cost of overheating, or the Alex Gundam, they have more rapid fire beam rifle shots to rack up stun instead of going for charged hits if you wanted to. And those are fine. They're kind of light taps. Eventually they rack up, but you have to aim for all those. The lock-on
interesting
stuff
thing-
that does all the damage. It's
There's an arcade game that's coming out in Japan that actually has that same kind of firing rate from the anime, for like even the hyper bazooka and the beam rifle for some of the examples.
Yeah, it sounds like more Gundam Versus or Gundam Breaker or an arena fighter of that or something. Yeah, those are very anime.
But I also wanted to ask. So you play 550 and below mostly. What would you say you play most? Would you say you're like a Ray general support all around?
I'm all around. I try to be support when I can. If there's no supports, and it's mostly general based, um, yeah, I'll go support. Like my favorite, for I almost have a favorite for each cost rating. Um, at 350, like the gun cannon comes to mind. I really like gun cannon, and 400 could be GM cannon 2 or gun cannon level 2. Just like I've gotten really consistent with stunning with the shoulder cannons and hitting the beam rifle shot. That's pretty bread and butter for that suit. Uh, it goes all the way up to, I think my first 550 that I was thriving with and climbing with in ranked was the camphor level 3. I don't think you can do that as much now with the Methus running around and other like the Zissa and other supports that have more beam focus, so it's a little bit harder to survive. But yeah, I was always with the camphor. I love that suit.
It's a bully.
Big bully.
It can, yeah, it can like you were talking about with getaways or juggling multiple enemies trying to get away. With the Rig DS2, you can juggle your stuns on different targets with the double bazooka or shotgun or the double stormfaust. Just retreat and let the rest of your team catch up to you.
Or even just help your boys out too. That's one of the strengths of the camphor is you can just kind of dip your hand into like every fight.
Y-
Zook
yeah.
over there to help.
But stun ready for every
Sturmfowl,
occasion.
shotgun, like it's pretty nice.
Yeah, a stun for every occasion, like you said.
Yeah,
You
for
could just
sure.
do a bombing run on somebody and leave, or help somebody like with a quick stun, jump in with
Yeah.
the melee
And
combo.
its melee is compact enough, especially with the downswing just essentially being a chat, that it can actually slip in some good stuff between everyone else's stuff.
Oh yeah.
I do love vertical down swings. Instead of the GM swing that wide, you can hit people behind you. You can hit people in front of you or to the
That Federation 4 glory swing is pretty pretty
for
rough.
glory. Ugh.
Also,
I've started to prefer Gelgoog downswing, the Gelgoog J downswing. That kind of like from left to right is just nicer.
I love that. But yeah, the beam saber hitbox though, especially for the like Betty swing, has always just been like. I mean, I know there's some lag, but there's also swings I hit that I'm like, I shouldn't have hit you. Just saying. But anyway, moving more into the patch notes though. So yep, Unit 4 and 5 BST level 2. The other thing they put in was the AUG1 normal suit plus. I don't. That's supposed to be a plus, or was that supposed to be a colon? I think that's a typo of some
It's
sort.
very
Might be a
meh
typo.
is what it
Okay.
is.
Anyway, it's yeah. Yeah.
Like,
Again,
I get
cosmetics,
it
please.
kind of falls in line with those C's, Rick Diaz stuff, whatever, but like, cosmetics falling short as usual in this game.
I was about to say the same thing. Like BB dropping a ball in cosmetics. Who would have thought?
Who would have thought?
Surprise Pikachu face.
Oh, how could it be?
I'm pretty happy with my Gunbraid normal suit, and I've been wearing the Pale Rider head since I got it.
Yeah, I mean, in that regard, don't get me wrong. There are some times when they check the boxes, but they leave a lot of hanging fruit. I just can't believe we don't
What's her
have
name in the
more.
salon just feeling lonely up there, so she has to
Yeah.
I
get
just can't believe we don't have
make-
more hairstyles or Gundam clothes. Why haven't we gotten Rue Luca's pilot suit yet or something like that, man? Like, come on.
Or like the game mock just came out. We could have like Shara's hair.
Chara Soon's hair,
Let's
yeah.
go. Like go up there, talk
Everybody
to
running
her,
around with that.
spin that one ticket for the hair.
Make it a special two-tone that you can change the color on too. Like fuck
Yeah,
it.
that'd be so
Yes.
good.
Definitely. I would run around with like green and black hair or something. Let's go.
Give
Bring
us
in
the
life.
anime hair we deserve. Yeah.
So,
Everyone else has it. Is it alright if
I know.
I step away real quick for a BRB?
Okay.
Gotta
Yeah,
buy
go
a
for
break,
it.
but I'll
Yep.
just leave everything on here.
Ooh.
But with Brad saying that though, like thinking about it, I guess our characters don't have protagonist syndrome though. You know, maybe that's what it is.
Yeah, like they're all just supposed to be jobbers.
Yeah,
The only real
we're just the side characters that you see in the anime. We're not the mains. Like it all makes sense now. That's why the cosmetics all suck because we're trapped in mediocrity. It's so unfortunate.
That's why we blow up so many times.
Yeah,
We're
we're like
never the
side
same
characters
pilot.
at
That's
best.
why they only call us pilot. They don't call us by name because we know we're gonna die as soon as we get out there.
What's your name again? Pilot. Get
Watch
out
out,
there.
pilot.
Yeah.
Yeah. He says,
Hmm.
"See you soon." And I'm like,
Yeah.
wait. Are you
Who's
saying I
doing
suck?
my
What?
replacement?
Like, what is this? Like, see you soon. And I'm like, wait. I mean,
He
I know
knows.
the battle lasts 8 minutes, but come on, man. Like, I'm not gonna
He
blow up
knows you
that quick.
bad. He's calling. He's already calling you dead. Like, damn. Fucked up.
Oof.
For real though, I feel like he's insulting everything. Like the funny thing is I was like, yeah, we gotta kill
He's-
the dude died. Mind your heads, get wrecked. And then he's like, that artillery strike didn't do much. And I'm like, there's 2 kills, man. What do you want from me?
It wasn't
I
very
noticed
effective.
Not amused.
But
You ain't killed a whole team. A shameful display.
Or like when he dies, essentially just like suck it up and get ready for the next drop. Like, dirt.
yeah, right.
Get back out there, soldier.
But I guess we'll go ahead and go through some more of the patch notes stuff. One thing they did is they extended the 3 million login bonus, so you still have more time for that if you've missed a day. And then the recon team's container discovery rate 100% also got extended, and this will be going on for Pacific time, the 13th of March at 8:59 p.m. is when it'll end. So, I mean, I'll take more crates. Let's go. And
Welcome
then,
back, by the way, Bradderfield.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, more crates. Yes, please. I think we'll get platinum real easy if you haven't already purchased the tokens for it.
For real.
Speaking of which, we're coming up on that center. I'm excited.
I can't wait for that. Mine's definitely going toward that 11 step up because I don't have 5 of the suits in there. But
I probably am gonna do that for Jenny, but Gus is definitely getting dumped under the curtain banner.
but yeah, that's getting extended, so I wanted to note that. Also, GBO days. GBO days is currently going on. Make sure you get your 1 suit a day for free, and
Get those free
hopefully it's not
recycle tickets,
tickets.
everybody.
Exactly. Hopefully it's not tickets. But
yeah, it's definitely still a good thing for people who are just getting in, and a good event to be doing that all the same. So,
oh yeah, and then like just everything else in general. Like I like what they're doing for newer players now. Like the part thing, it was amazing. I don't know if you caught that in the last patch, Bradderfield, but did you notice the part requirement is now just when you start the game, you can buy all the parts?
Oh no, I had made an alt. Like my original account was actually from the previous owner of this PS4, and it now became my alt. Is then I made my own profile. So it was already like pretty leveled up and started getting custom parts on it. So I would have to see what this is like. I would kind of want to make a new profile just to see, how beneficial it is, because that's amazing. Letting people earn points, new players earn the points to get the some custom parts to give them like a more level playing field right off the bat. And like even without parts, the suits are all right, but these give you an edge, and you can sometimes confirm zero to death with like those melee combos from raids on supports. The parts help guarantee that, that's for sure. And this the container rate, they're giving a lot of stuff to new players, and the step up, the directives, those worked for us as well. So I got a lot of recycle tickets and bonus stuff for suits that I already had, like the Gundam. Just gave it a bunch of. Yeah, I made sure to modify it so it actually benefited from the extra points for modification points. But yeah, it was cool. It's really nice that they're doing that. Gacha games that actually give a lot back like this is really nice, and keeps the player base alive. So it's a good thing.
Yeah, I definitely think we've been kind of roller coastering a little bit. They're like doing some good stuff for new players, and then it's like, then a little bit later, then the modification thing came out where you had the modification kits or the enhancement shop, and it's like,
Oh, down the kids.
yeah, so like it seemed like it was
That was
really,
anti-new player friendly.
yeah. So like as soon as stuff like that happens, like, wait, what are you guys doing? And then the biggest thing though that I've always said to anybody getting into it is you got to play till Master Sergeant 8 before you can get the firing program 4 and the melee program 4, which is essentially needed on whichever suit you're, whatever you're doing, especially at higher cost.
Especially
And
for rated specifically, right?
yeah, rated, and then definitely higher cost where everybody's gonna have those parts. If you're, because you have so many part slots, you're definitely gonna have one of those, and that's a huge amount of damage. It's what, like 10% or whatever. I can't remember what is 10, 12. What is firing for? Something
I
like
think
that.
it's 12,
10
something like that.
or
But
12.
yeah,
Something like that. Yeah. Either way,
something like that.
that's
10,
a
12
significant
numbers.
number on something that's going to hit for 2,000 damage. That's pretty big, especially if you're firing at somebody else. And like then so you have okay, 10% is what Matt's saying.
Okay.
So I'm
10.
I'm
Yeah.
also going to do the same thing you were saying there. I'm going to wait till after this event so I don't get any extra bonus DP and stuff like that, and just see what a fresh start vanilla these days is. And I think that new 3-step banner is also for new players now. So I'm gonna wait again probably till about the 12th or the 13th, something like that, and then get started on a new account and see how far I can go, because that 5 times DP bonus and plus that first step, if you have that, that's 50k DP. I mean, you could pretty much start out with level 4 through level 1 either firing or melee, and then within a week you probably could buy both, and then you could get new model frame or some other stuff, or even boost parts or whatever. Might not be able to get the defense ones. I mean, again, that would be super grindy for a week, but 5 times DP and XP, pretty nice, especially the XP, right? So if you're
Oh, yeah.
starting at the end of the month too, that's kind of why I'm gonna try to do it after the 13th, where hopefully, well, I guess people's gonna have a lot of stuff, so they're gonna be popping medals anyway. But the idea would be to try to do it when there's not a lot of medals popping, because that can skew your DP and XP a little bit. But as long as you can get to a certain rank quick enough to buy suits as well, that's still the other problem, is suits, especially like when we get to the DP store stuff. I think the BD2 and 3, which is the ones they've added this time, is still like ensign or higher. And those suits are, I'm sorry, they're definitely not in the meta anymore, really, at those costs. And I mean, if it's your suit, cool, but like requiring like ensign or something for it, I don't know. I'll check here in a second what it actually requires to buy those, but it's like, really, guys?
By the time you
The
get
bar's a
there, you're
little
gonna
high.
be like, why? You're
Yeah.
not
I don't even
even
need a suit
bother.
anymore. Yeah.
So hopefully they do a crunch with that too. But I'm really glad to see new player friendly stuff. It's pretty amazing to actually see the part change. Like that is, I think that's the best thing they've done for the game in a long time. But
Another thing I would like to see them bring back, and maybe that's something they could do for the third anniversary, but probably not. You remember when the Western release was happening and they let the players vote on like which suits
Oh,
were their
the 10 drop
favorites
or
or
whatever.
whatever? Mm-hmm.
yeah,
And they gave out the suits that were what was it, like, I think it was it top 10 or was it top 5 or whatever?
it
I
was
think it
10
was like the
different.
top 10 suits or something like that. They gave them to all the players in the game. Um, I wouldn't mind an upgraded version of that, and it probably, I'm not expected to have like the Ricardo DS level 2 or number 2 in it or anything like that. But
Mhm.
you know, maybe
I
if it
wouldn't
had
mind
like,
that, though.
you're not wrong. I bet you. I would hope people be voting on those new suits.
Yeah,
But
push it. Let's go.
something like that with an updated suit base would be pretty cool to do again. It'd be a nice little way to engage the community and
Number
also
one
give
would
them a
just be the
reward.
dual hand.
Yeah, Grandpa Gundam will win because they'll rig the votes again.
Oh yeah. By the way, I I was joking about Ensign, and I was hoping it'd be less. But for the BD3 level 3, Lieutenant 1.
Ugh.
Is
Wow.
that worse than Instant? I don't know what the rating. I
That's
don't know what the
even
names of
that
the stuff is.
it's Ensign, Lieutenant, then Captain, and then Major.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's rough. Oof.
Whoa.
Literally the third highest rank. Wow. Anyway, but yeah, exactly what you were saying too. They did update it last year, and the highest suit I think we got was like the G3 at 450. But I mean, now we're at 650, and again, we're seeing the problem where people are coming in, and they did update it this time for new players, but you're guaranteed only a 550 suit, and one of them space only. So again, if there's a 650 room up, like last week there was a 650 suit, there's like, I don't know, either you're playing your G3 at 500, and then there, you can't play the 650 room. So I don't know, like unless you got lucky.
Yeah, I mean, new players need a care package with suits that can play in every cost.
Mhm.
Just by default, they need to get to work on that.
Yeah,
But
like one of each, one
Spin banner
basic
really
suit of
stacked,
each.
like 10 spin banner for
Oh
them.
yeah.
What their starter
I
banner is.
I have a G3 Gundam at 650. That's not playable. That is not fun.
Raid
Yeah.
life is hard enough as it is, and you're like going in, literally playing the Gump.
I mean,
rough.
there was a dude who man moded in like one game I had today, and he did well.
Mm.
He was going at it in the G3, so I was impressed. I was doing the game mock, and we won. So I'm like, okay, mad respect, mad respect. But
Yeah, if they can do it. If you're a new player and this is your 650 and that's all you can play,
oof.
people will take one look at you. I don't know if you'd get a match. I don't know if
I mean, you
I
would
think people
eventually, 'cause
leave.
people are just gonna
Maybe.
they'll just lose their free leads before they start getting vandalized. But like,
Yeah.
it's gonna give
like,
you a bad perception of like the potential of some classes for sure.
you start to get a feel for it. I mean, it took me a little while. I was like, why are these matches like the teams get set up and then it drops? It's like then I started to realize, when I was playing with my friends, they're, oh, someone probably left. They hated the team comp, or they didn't like your suit, or they wanted to be raid.
Mm.
It's the whole I want to do what I want to do kind of mentality for a lot of players.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't leave. I'm pretty flexible, but then someone will leave anyway. They don't go back to my preference. Like, okay, I'll try to play, but I usually have a favorite of all three types in every cost, and I'm pretty flexible. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, a lot of people will try to leave if they see a 650 G3 Gundam.
Well, here's a funny one, and I thought about saying this during the intro recap of the week. So I had a game. So we've been talking about the controversial suit here recently in a lot of chats, and it's been a pretty big
Oh, the
topic in some
Isaac?
chat. Yeah, the Isaac.
Oh, okay.
Best worst. Let's go.
And so I had a game. I mean, I've gotten a lot of hate mail for playing the Isaac. I've gotten some juicy ones. Like I've gotten like the top tier trash comments being like with the game and stuff like that. But
Oof.
yeah. So I love the salt. I get to put that on some chips or zucchini chips or whatever. And, tasty. But the best salt was this match that I finally caught on stream, where the game started up, and I was like, okay, yeah, 400, Isaac, easy game, boom, readied up. And then there was a Doulahan and some general. I can't remember the general right now, but like I'm like, maybe that's what they were going after. And the two dudes that were duo queued, and I wasn't too sure at the beginning, but I thought I saw. Now there's the other team had 2 guys that pretty much had the same name, and I could have swore I've seen them as a duo queue. So I'm like, and the guys on my team had to be a duo queue. So I'm like, okay, why are they swapping to pixies? What do they not like? This is weird. And then they readied up, and then of course one of my teammates left. Then they did it again. And then I was like, is it the Isaac? I'm gonna swap to the Hildoffer. And I did. And they were fine, and they readied up in their generals. And then I unreadied and swapped to the Isaac. And then they swapped to 2 pixies. And then I was like, oh, we got them. Okay. They don't like the Isaac. We're readying up. Let's go. And then I was really wanting to go against them. I was hoping it would finally put me. So they readied up. Someone left. It happened like 2 more times. And then I tried to do the trick of going from the Hildoffer to the Isaac quick enough and readying up so that then the countdown starts, so that they can't
no.
stop it. But I didn't make it out in time.
Oof.
So then they swapped to 2 pixies, and the game started. One of them shot me in the back, while the other one kind of meleeed at me every now and then. And that was the entire. One literally just followed me around with a bullpup and shot me in the back with the pixie the entire game. And I also found out you technically can't get kicked unless you're actually interrupting a teammate.
Mhm.
So just
Yeah.
firing at them with a machine gun doesn't count. You have to be able to, because I was like, wait, so how does pilots shooting with their machine gun? But technically, if you're defusing a bomb and then you shoot them with the machine
Yeah,
gun, you
everything
actually
you
interrupt
do to a
something.
pilot interrupts their actions. So.
Yeah, so that's how pilots get kicked out when they do that silliness. So that's what they did, and they crouched and went prone at the base the entire game, and we lost. But that one was some top tier salt toward a suit.
Oh, big mad.
Yeah, I mean those guys are just being toxic. Like it's definitely the worst side of the player base. Because Brad, I'm kind of right there with you. I'll make like meta commentary on the team comps and stuff like that and train, but I generally don't dodge or whatever.
Yeah, like
Yeah. I won't dodge, but I'll be mad, and then I'll just pick whatever I gotta pick.
yeah, I'll comment on, okay, this guy's probably going to do this, and this is why I don't like it on the team. But, we got to work around it. We got to try to do something. And actually, that's a good example. Bradderfield, when you joined in on when we were doing that triple Q, you remember that on military base?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Where I was sorting with you, and who was it? Was it Gustav or was it Emblem here or someone else?
It might not have been me. I don't think we've played together.
It was a little while ago, but it might have been me.
I'm trying to remember.
We did some rated matches, military base,
Military base.
300, 350
was
or
it?
400 or something.
I feel bad now. I can't remember who the third one was. Oh no,
That,
because we were duo queuing, and then you joined in because you were in the game, and I was like, oh well, let's back up. It might have been Tony.
Tony's the name. That sounds
Yeah,
familiar.
2-ton Tony. There we go. Yeah.
Thank you.
And then so the thing is, we ended up, we were trying to stick with the guy who was sniping, and there would be a tank on the building or whatever, and it was like, come on, move up, man, stop being way back there, and then our team would push and die. Well, then where there was 3 of us, we could play around that guy. So normally I complain about the tank that sits on that corner building the entire game, but since
Right.
3 of us, we had one dude that might run off, but hopefully he would follow us 3 sitting where the tank, so that the enemy wasn't line of sighted from our tank, and then we started winning. Where there was 3 of us, so that was really awesome. And if you play around people that pick stuff, that's one of the things you kind of got to look out for, is how everybody else is going to play.
Right. Be mindful of the play style, especially with military base being a new map. It's huge. People tend to scatter, kind of free roam, kind of wander, and you're gonna get players that want to cap all the points. That's useful, but a spawn point so far away from the action is not helpful. Even if it's like you're supposedly from a flank, when base is probably closer, but you have this point way off to the side. You see that a lot, and you end up getting spread too thin. Yeah, when it comes to like the tank on the building, either if it's an enemy tank, you try to you line of sight. You just kind of like, I'll just go inside. I don't need to mess with this guy. If it's raining, I'll stay indoors or something. Just stay out of sight of that thing, or try to counter it. Mid range long range raid types. We had a lot of fun with that map. Just having getting that mindset down. Go for the center, control the center, and try to keep it.
Yeah, E is definitely the power point on that map.
Yeah, it lures in a lot of support fire, and if everyone's inside skirmishing, like it does nothing. But if it's a bunch of enemies on the roof and you know that's where they're at, you can get a lot of MS kills that way.
I think
Yeah.
C is about the only other point that you would cap for like a counter strat, but then everybody's got to be on the same page, and that's so hard to do on that map. Like I think that
There
map is great for a
are-
team.
Yeah,
Mm.
I think an organized team with comms can thrive in map control there. A random team with no communication. Not everybody has their shortcut menu for comms to like, capture this point or go west. I don't think anyone uses cardinal directions in their yeah, there are shortcut menus to tell people which way to go. But like navigation through those, especially since you can't send in succession, it kind of nerfs because
Yeah, they
they've
don't do it
already
because they'll
like
get banned.
right. No
Yeah.
spam. Are you trying to tell me what to do? I'm reporting you, sir. Yeah, no one has a commander role.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, besides that, no one's gonna listen anyway because it's just randos. They
Yeah,
know
gotta
what they
hurdle.
want to do, and they're gonna keep doing it.
Try to wrangle them. No. Too many. If you use too many communications, they're gonna think you're salty or toxic or something. They're gonna report you now.
See, that's why I like the Isaac, because I just mark something that I want to die, and normally people go after it.
Oh, that okay? I'll go get it. Yeah, you're playing fetch with the randos. Here, there's a ball. It's a raid.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you like the raids, don't you, Generals?
General
Go get
starts
them.
salivating.
Yeah, super effective. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know why. There might be folks that are salty against the support because it's not meta. It doesn't stun. It doesn't. There's no cannons. That's stupid. But I think, especially in a 6v6, Isaac and an artillery unit thrive together. You got the spotter and the sniper. Sniping is usually a two-man job. I think that's really the utility from the Isaac and the firepower from like a gun cannon or GM cannon 2 or up higher gun cannon detector. That's a really good combo. And then you have your 3 and your 1 general and raid. It's really solid, but it takes
The only
coordination.
problem I have,
Yeah.
or good.
Oh yeah, that's it. Just coordination and communication.
Oh yeah.
The only problem I have with that example is that the artillery suits that you're mentioning can spot on their own because they have observational data link, and they don't really need the extra picture over their head to know what the suits are. Because I'm 100% on team like Isaac is a worthless suit. I don't think it brings enough to the table, and I it, I don't knock people who want to play it. I give Magnum a hard time because I'm just messing with them. Because at the end of the day, like you enjoy your suits, you have fun, or do whatever. But I mean, just objectively, just from my standpoint on what I like about like the different types of suits, you don't really need the damage bonus isn't really like super relevant, and like supports can identify suits on their own without needing the extra spot man. And I feel like most of the kind of like non-frontline side generals can probably fill that role and do a better job at it than the Isaac can. Like if you want like a machine gunny type of secondary suit, you could just bring a I don't know. It's what is it? What's the cost again? 400, 450. Maybe
Yeah.
you could bring like 400. You could bring like a Pale Rider Cavalry, still have DACA, and you at least have a follow-up stun or something like that, and good
The attack and the
maneuverability.
pseudo supports.
Maybe, yeah. But that's just my kind of take on it. Like, I'm not dodging if anybody picks the Isaac or whatever else like that. But I just personally think there are just better options that maybe have like a reduced level of observation because the pitchers aren't there. But for me, at the very least, of how long I've played, if I see certain health bars in certain positions, you kind of already know you at least have a really good idea of what they are. Like,
Yeah.
oh, this guy's kind of a little bit further in the back. It's probably support. Or like if
Yeah.
he's in the group of a team, like maybe he's not quite frontline, but like floating around mid, like, oh, that's probably the raid, or they've got like maybe a mud rock or something like that, or a heavy Gundam that's kind of mixing in with the group a little bit there. But anyway, I digress though. Like, I don't mean to,
Well, no,
I don't
I
mean to
mean,
like shut down and say you're wrong. I just think
no.
that's just my take on the Isaac kind of as a suit in general.
and I mean, I know we're kind of rehashing a thing we've kind of already talked about but
Mhm.
Ooh, yeah.
sorry, my bad. I caused this long tangent. Oops.
Hmm.
But I will agree with you though. I think that if I saw one comment kind of essentially just people just need to pay attention and have awareness and get good, and there you go. Then you don't need the Isaac. And yeah,
That's assuming a lot from people you
but
don't
That's
know.
that's
yeah, I was
assuming
gonna say it's
exactly.
banking on a lot.
And then I saw someone comment, and maybe they got it backwards or something, but I didn't understand this. I saw one comment that said like, "You're playing the Isaac is expecting the enemy team to be bad," and I'm like, "Wait, what?"
Yeah, I mean, playing the Isaac is
But
expecting people to listen to your spots too.
well, I mean,
I feel
I
that. I mean, I
expect
understand where
them
that
to.
comment's coming from.
Hmm.
Because I mean, I hear that comment, and I think in regards to like expecting your team, the enemy team to play bad, is in like I feel like the Isaac kind of punishes people who don't know how to engage. So like let's take a raid versus Isaac for example. I think if the Isaac's running the machine gun and the raid is pushing, and let's just and I this is just a 1v1 scenario, which is generally like the way most fights that where someone isn't stepping in kind of go in. Like if it's just them fighting, the raid should be able to kill the Isaac, like at that cost. If you're got anything like let's say Desert Goku, which is something that loses its stealth. The Desert Goku has so many stun options, whereas just like um unless like the Isaac is just literally like shutting him down to machine gun, in which case he needs to reposition or better or something like that. I think like once you get to the point to where you're close enough to to hit with a stun, it just comes down to hitting your shots. So I can get that.
I mean,
At
okay,
least I
so
can get where they're coming from with that idea anyway.
see, my thing is if I'm playing the Isaac right, the raid is never going to see me that entire game because I have anti-jamming, anti-stealth. I have stealth. There's no way you're gonna. There's nothing that a raid can do that can get rid of my stealth. The only thing that counters the Isaac is another Isaac in that regard. And the thing is, if there's not one on the enemy team, then I got free reign to move wherever I want and position wherever I want, essentially
So are
for
you never
free.
going to shoot your machine gun the entire game,
No, I'm
Magnum?
going to, but I'm going to position because I know where the raid is at all time. So I'm always going to be, and I've got 70 thruster, so I'm always going to be able to reposition wherever I need to
Mhm.
and be where I need to. So if your awareness is good, then you can use that. And like one of the things you mentioned, and I do agree, it doesn't have an insta stagger unless you're using the beam rifle. But if you are ready and they
Mhm.
can't, general is about to fight a general, they're going in. I have my grenade ready. I throw
Sorry,
my
train.
grenade. They're approaching. Now they might get a hit on my teammate, but 5 bullets, they're staggered, and I'm already downswinging. So I can follow up like that. So grenade 5 shots and downswing is a stagger, or maybe it's 6. But anyway, I just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I'm swapped and then downswing. Is how I do it. And so there's some different combos like that that you can do. Also, because you are stealth, if you just want to skip that, get ready, come out and just melee the dude and be like, surprise. So there's a few things like that. Or just shoot them, and then they're like, either they're going to commit, you're going to do some damage, and then follow up. But you've got a few different options. Now the thing is, your teammate is probably going to get hit, and that is one downside with it. But my point is I'm pretty much positioning at all times, and I've got the thrust to actually do it on a support for once, which is pretty much one of the biggest problems with supports. Which actually we're going to talk about something a little bit later. So yeah, I also digress on kind of you know going over the same thing, but yeah, that's
Sure, sure.
kind of my thing is just I mean, that's why it's so cool to talk about it a little bit, because it is such a controversial thing. Because the people who like it,
Hmm.
when somebody says the bad things about it, I'm like, but I never run into any of those problems.
Yeah,
Like that's
I
the
think
I done the guys on those tech help forums that's like just specifically commenting to tell everyone that he doesn't have the problem that they're asking about. I don't know how you could possibly have that kind of problem. I've never had that happen in my life.
We've had it for 13 years.
Not even once. Couldn't be.
I'll agree it's situational. Like I said, 6v6 is where I think a 2 support thingy could work, and
I agree.
the utility and like I treat the Isaac as like one of those. It's like a DPS kind of suit. It doesn't have like firepower, stun power, that kind of deal. You can combo and rack
That
up your own
just
stun
doesn't
with
have the range
grenades.
either.
Yeah, it's got it's a Zaku machine gun. That's something you're used to at 300 or below.
Mhm.
Uh,
If you're
it
really
pairs up
cheeky, you
nicely.
got the beam rifle. If you really want to try to get in there with your stuff in the murder ball, but more often than not, you're
Yeah.
just gonna stick to the custom.
I wouldn't even mix it up that much with the like melee. Like the opportunities to melee with the Isaac aren't as often. Like you don't have high performance balancer. You can't rush in there if you see an opportunity. You can do stuff like that with Gelgig J or G Line Full Custom, even Full Armor 7th or Gun Cannon. Gun Cannon can knock people down from the shoulder cannons. You have a combo there. But or even Gigan. Gigan can do a cannon shot into a dash melee cancel knockdown. Boom! The punch. You know about it.
yeah.
Isaac can't do that, but it has the spotting capability. You are banking on the players like understanding that's information that suggests that they go target those people. You're expecting them to do that. Without it, you're expecting those health bars to be certain people. With experience, you can kind of rely on that insight, that instinctive kind of knowledge of where positioning is. I think two suits, like two players, a duo, even without an Isaac, you're talking to each other. You can kind of paint the picture yourselves without the spotting. Someone up front with someone in the back. Like, okay, I can ID these suits for you. The raid is far right, probably flanking around, something like that. Talking. It's just it shakes things up. Isaac can shake things up. But the jamming, it's disruptive. But the stealth, you can't always see it on the radar. So it messes with people. And it can ruin ASL for suits that rely on the DACA, like Heavy Gundam, Pale Rider, or like a Gundam Unit 5.
Oh, I will say another thing too.
Paul.
I've been seeing a lot of comments on its melee. It does have priority too, so it can fight a lot of generals.
Yeah, that was the bigger takeaway for that.
Yeah, I was looking at the skills just now. I was like, okay, no high performance balancer. That's a minus.
Yeah, if it had
But,
that, then it would be like, in my opinion, then it
it'd
would
be
just be the
I
most
mean, it would
broken
not be
thing
OP.
ever.
If anything, that should just be a buff that it gets.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it would
give
probably
it to
help
the
it.
level 3.
I'll
I mean,
just
I'll take
say
it. Yeah,
this.
let's go.
My final comments on the suit when it first came out was that like it seems kind of meh, but excuse me, that's kind of sometimes the case whenever they release a new type of suit. Um, I think I personally am still waiting for, and I don't know if there's a literal Isaac 2, but maybe once the Isaac 2 comes out, just like when we talked about the Goof flight test type, I was like, maybe once the flight test type comes out,
Mhm.
it'll be better at the flying thing or whatever, and then they nerfed them. That's neither here nor
Right.
there, but
Or at least
you
another
know,
AWAC suit, right?
Yeah.
like whenever we get I feel like the next Ewok style suit will probably um do
Give me
what
the
the people who
AWAC gym.
like, yeah, who like what the Isaac does, and probably and hopefully um be able to bring a little bit more to the table. Because I mean, I don't think every single suit needs to be the same as every other suit. I think diversity definitely is good for the game, but I just don't think the suit itself should lose out on
Mhm.
its other like team play options. And it might just be that the meta is so set that people don't want to run that double support slot or something like that. But it's just in a weird
I mean, it's
spot.
also sweaty meta talk
Mhm.
in a gacha game, which
Yeah.
is already kind of
Right.
a joke within itself.
Mhm.
I do have one last comment to add. The as far as the team play goes, one thing that was really cool was when we were doing Space Clan Ranked. It was really awesome in space to be able to call out the specific suit, and since they were marked, everybody knew exactly which suit to go for. So we had great focusing. Like we had some awesome games. And that's definitely something that comes more with experience. But so like for just calling out targets, it was fantastic for that. That was a lot of fun. But definitely, again, the more people get used to it, I do agree. It phases the suit out a lot more, especially in clan ranked kind of play.
Yeah, the more suits that they add that can do the camera gun, because there's like in low cost, there's Recon Zaku. That's a general that can spot people. There's, I think, the
Flipper
Zaku
has it
Flipper
too.
can do that as well. Like anything that can spot, give people that portrait of what suit that is. Because paint jobs, it's like, what's that bright pink suit over there? I can't tell. You know,
Yeah.
you know exactly what that suit is. You know what it's probably weak against, or like if it's got a bias towards beam resistance or ballistic. It's like, all right, that's what I'm going for. I know what I can do against that suit. You get
Yeah.
your targets and go.
Cubulate Mark II, Cubulate paint jobs. No big deal, right?
Right. Gundam Unit 4, Gundam Unit 5 palette swap. You need the portraits. Well, I mean, the super, like the effective or advantage only does so much from, and you have to get within range before you realize, that's not a full armored Gundam. That's the Gundam ground type.
I actually don't
Yeah,
notice
I'm glad you said that though.
disadvantage. and
I just
advantage.
wanted to add, like, when you know that stuff and the portraits there, you're like, that's just one of those things where I feel like it's just kind of like, oh wait, it's actually that suit, and then at that point you don't need a portrait anymore. At least
Yeah,
for
just for
me.
a second.
Maybe that's a bit of an extreme opinion of it, but like again, but I'm
He's
on the
just so
like I said,
good.
I'm
Yeah.
anti
So
Isaac.
good.
So to me, it's just like whatever. But
The- like one thing that happened in chat today, someone was like, "Well, yeah, that disadvantage right there. That's definitely the Mark II Cubulate." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, I don't know why or what it is, but I never notice advantage or disadvantage. Like my eye just
Mm.
doesn't catch that for some reason. So like,
I feel ya.
so what I've always identified suits for is the damage I deal, and the game log just does so much damage that I'm like, wait, I'm hitting a raid for like 3K. What's going on
Yeah,
here?
you're hitting everything for damage.
So I'm
You
like,
have
oh,
no idea.
yeah, this
It's
is
all pain.
that's just the normal Cubulate. Okay, cool, no big deal. I don't have to worry about that. And then Doom Spike comes out. I'm like, oh,
Woo.
and then I read chat and they're like,
That's three prong.
Like,
yeah.
wait a minute.
And then I read chat and they're like, yeah, except for that disadvantage right there. And I'm like, yeah, I've never noticed the advantage or disadvantage. I just see numbers and I know what damage I deal, and once I learn that, then I know what I'm shooting.
Yeah.
Because
That's
sometimes
something that I like force myself to look at all the time just because of like paint jobs and just moving around. Like I'm already focusing on the reticle. I might as well just read that and then I'll know
No.
what I'm gonna deal with.
Say, wait, this damage sucks. Did I hit a buffer? What's going on here?
Kind of shoulder
it's a-
pad shit is this?
That's a support type. Oh, okay. Generals? Okay.
but anyway, super tangent. There we go. My bad. I'm sorry.
Hey, that was fun.
Anyway,
For sure.
back to the part for the course. Back to the patch notes though. In the ticket shop, speaking of the Desert Gelgoog, we got the Desert Gelgoog level 1 and 2 and the gun cannon mass production type. So anything to add on that? I mean, if you're wanting to meme gun cannon mass production, but the good news is 2-star, so it shouldn't take that many tickets for the Desert Gelgoog.
So if you're on the mean, Desert Gelgoog is pretty funny just because of that cannon mega buster that it's got.
Oh yeah, I put my tickets in for the Desert Gelgoog. I wanted one at level 1, so I'm
Nice.
happy to have it. It was only $250, and I got a bunch from one of the sign-ins was 100 recycle tickets.
Oh yeah.
Like I have the gun cannon at mass production at cost, level 1 with the double machine guns, and that is always a fun time. Yeah.
Daka Daka, man.
Yeah.
But anything to
They're
add
not
on?
bad though.
Anything to add on those two
Oh.
suits?
We kind of touched on it earlier when we were talking about Ricardo DS2.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's kind of rough because people like people like to use the Isaac, and
I can just feel it.
realistically,
Like, it just wants to say people like bad things, and it's just oof.
yeah, people like to use the Isaac. That's not like a pointed comment. Okay, I'm not talking about anybody in here. Okay, people like to use the Isaac, and supports don't like raids. And I will say, with people running an anti-stealth kind of setup, it can make it a little bit harder, for sure. So there's that to consider. But outside of that, I feel like I see less Isaac in my lobbies now. So depending on where you are, you may not have to worry about it as much. And the Desert Gelgoog has pretty nice combo powers.
It's 400. You see me in your lobby, you know what's gonna happen. Don't play it.
Faust
Don't go out
knockdown,
there.
or Faust knee stagger, beam shot knockdown, beam shot downswing. You can pretty much kill any support at
Now you're
that
speaking
cost.
his language.
No, thank you for going over that combo though. I've been trying to practice it a bit more. I get it off every now and then. I'm still trying to practice it a little bit, and I'll definitely start using it one day. But
I thought it was kind of funny because everyone was always like, "How come you don't use a full charge on your beam rifle to stun?" I was like, "Because I want to kill the support."
Time for all that shit.
Yeah,
But and then I kind of touched on them existing in the DP store now. BD3 and BD2 level 3. Yeah, you got to be Lieutenant 1. That really sucks. And at this point, at what is that, 500 cost? I used to use the BD3 at 500, but yeah, there's definitely way better now. Feels bad, man. Any extra comments on those?
they're solid suits.
Mm-hmm.
Blue Destiny, I think at cost they do pretty well still. I was using Blue Destiny to climb in 400, Unit 2 and Unit 3, whatever was missing. If not, I'd go back to like GM Cannon 2 is what I would go with 400 most of the time in a 5v5 setting for support. But yeah, Blue Destiny, is that what you were saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the love the chest rockets. Even a BD1, if you get that opening to go chest rockets in a melee, it feels nice.
Here's a question. Do you think they could undo the nerfs that they did to them way back when?
What were the nerfs? What happened?
So
I could probably find them if you don't know off the top of your
So
head.
I got them like early or late. I got them late last year at Blue Destiny units. Sorry.
So late stagger on the chest, because literally the tournament that they had was I forget how many. It was either 5v5 or 6v6, but it was literally every team was BD3s for the generals, one BD2 for the raid, and one Hildoffer for the support, and that was every team.
My goodness, the meta.
Yeah. So
for sure.
Then after that, they nerfed exam across the board.
I've got it all ready, by the way.
Okay, we'll go ahead.
This was September 26th, by the way, 2019. So they made the reload time for the chest missiles go from 15 to 18 seconds. Stagger value went down from 50% to 35% on each rocket. Exam, the melee damage modifier, like the correction to your melee, went down from 50% boost to 30%. Your defense beam and melee resist used to go up by 5, and they changed it to 3. And those are the changes they made to exams.
Wow. Now it starts to get a little bit outclassed by other 400 suits. Because we have Pale Rider Cavalry, you got GM3 level 2 450s, GM3 close quarters. Suits that can kind of outperform it now. Even like Exam will keep it in, like give it that edge again, but that's temporary. And I didn't know that it was better than it is now. I think September is just before my time. I started in the October event with the GOG. That was when I started playing GBO2. And I would have never have seen Blue Destiny 1, 2, and 3 with those buffs, or the original damage numbers.
Yeah. You definitely could feel it with the chest missiles. It was definitely harder to hit, but I mean, they're still solid suits at the very least.
It takes 3. If you're going for a stun, you probably fire all of them.
Yeah.
When you're rushing in, and you just, you're gonna land them if you wait until you're close enough. Especially if you're flanking somebody looking the other way. It's pretty reliable still. I practiced with it in free practice. 3 rockets, and then I wish the chest Vulcans racked up stun a little bit better. I guess they might have been better before.
Poke. I don't think they nerfed those.
No, just reload time, or just or nothing to the Vulcans.
I'd have to
chest
look.
Vulcans.
I'd have to look. I know the one I looked at was just the exam modifications, but I don't think they actually messed with the chest Vulcans at all.
Yeah, I think those kind of stayed where they were.
Yeah, they never. Those have been base values since the suit's been out. It looks like.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wish suits that utilize chest Vulcans, I wish they were a little bit more powerful. The suit that I like that has good Vulcans at 300, GM Guard Custom.
Yeah.
Do not sleep on those shoulder Vulcans. They're good. Half the clip will stun, especially if you hit them with either the beam gun or a little bit of bullpup action before you rush in, but those are reliable.
Literally, I didn't know that, and I don't know who said it. Maybe it was Emblem, I think Gustav and Emblem both said that. I was just sitting here, and they were like, "Yeah, Guard Custom, those shoulder Vulcans are really good, and they're pretty much the GPO2." And I was like, "What?" And then I went,
Do not
and I tried it,
on those
and I was
Vulcans.
just like, and then it completely changed my Guard Custom gameplay forever.
Oh, yeah.
Like now
It was
it's
one of its
suits.
saving graces after a while.
Yeah.
True. Day 1 Guard Custom was so pain though, man.
Oh god,
It's
dude.
like when a Freets are fucking like a Freets and
we just slapped that
freaking
shield for
Axarkus are
Freets
running around
on
everywhere.
here,
Like,
bud.
oh fuck me, man. They just have like a giant hitbox on your arm, so they would just be like Lamau and just like own you, man. It was the
Smacking and
worst.
keep you on the floor. Like, I guess I'm just not going anywhere. But
Yeah. Shotgun, the anti-raid fun killer. Then the DS was there too, so like literally
damaged when you're doing raid duels, like
yeah, you're either getting shut down by the Afri or the or one of the Afrits, or like if you fought against the enemy raid, it was like shotgun knockdown. You're just like, I can't win. It was always rough, but God forbid you got on that support. They were pretty much donezo for the most part, rushing down and then that dagger. Ooh,
yeah, shoulder roll goes into stabby times.
Mm-hmm.
So the anything else on those for the BD2 and 3?
Nope, solid, very all around.
For me personally, I like the 2 a little bit more than the 3 in the lineup. If you're gonna go for any of those particular suits.
Yeah. Luckily they're DP. Sadly for these, Lieutenant 1. But moving into the clan match stuff real quick. It's been up on screen for a few seconds. This weekend on Saturday morning, 4 a.m. PST, 305v5 Arctic Base Basic. So we've got new schedule up, and we should still be in the Dawaz.
Yeah, it didn't look like it changed. Let me double check.
But sorry, what, Brad?
Oh, sorry. I was muted and I accidentally let go of my push to mute button.
But yeah, there's that. Glad is back. But anyway, nothing else for the patch notes. Anybody wants to mention anything? If not, let's go ahead and get into the first of the extra topics.